This is the story of the mother who learned what her daughter really needed. There was a woman who worked long hours to provide the best life possible for her 8-year-old daughter. She felt guilty about the time she spent away from home, so she tried to make up for it by buying her daughter everything she could want. The latest toys, the most fashionable clothes, every gadget that other children had. Her daughter's room was filled with possessions that most kids could only dream of having. As her daughter's birthday approached, the woman planned an elaborate celebration. She hired entertainers, ordered an expensive cake, and bought the most costly gift she could find, a beautiful dollhouse with tiny furniture and perfect miniature details. The night before the party, while wrapping the dollhouse, she felt satisfied. This would surely show her daughter how much she was loved. The party was everything she had planned. 20 children came, played games, ate cake, and marveled at all the decorations. When it came time for gifts, her daughter opened package after package with polite smiles. Finally, she opened the dollhouse. The other parents gasped at its beauty and expense. Her daughter said thank you and gave her a hug, but something in her expression puzzled the mother. After all the guests had gone home, the mother found her daughter sitting quietly in the corner of the living room. Not playing with any of her new toys. "Did you have a good birthday, sweetheart?" she asked. Her daughter looked up with tears in her eyes. "Mommy, can I ask you something?" "Of course. What is it?" "Why didn't you play with me at my party?" The mother was confused. "What do you mean?" "I organized everything. I made sure you had the best party possible. But you were always talking to the other parents, or cleaning up, or taking pictures. You never just sat with me. You never asked me about my favorite part or if I was having fun." The words hit the mother like a physical blow. She had been so focused on giving her daughter things that she had forgotten to give her what she needed most: her presence, her attention, her undivided love. That night, after her daughter was asleep, the mother sat among all the expensive toys and realized something profound. Her daughter wasn't lacking material things. She was lacking connection. The next evening, instead of working late as usual, the mother came home early. She found her daughter playing alone with a simple cardboard box, pretending it was a house. "Can I play with you?" the mother asked. Her daughter's face lit up with pure joy. "Really? You want to play with me?" They spent the next hour creating stories about the cardboard house. They gave voices to imaginary characters. They laughed together. They were completely present with each other. During those 60 minutes, the mother saw something she had missed for years. Her daughter wasn't asking for more things. She was asking for more of her mother. As they played, her daughter said, "Mommy, this is better than any toy you've ever bought me." In that moment, the mother understood what true generosity meant. It wasn't about giving the most expensive gifts or throwing the most elaborate parties. It was about giving what someone actually needed. And what her daughter needed most was something that couldn't be bought in any store: her mother's time, attention, and presence. The Buddha taught that true generosity isn't measured by the cost of what we give, but by how deeply it meets the recipient's real need. Think about the people in your life and how you show your love for them. How often do we substitute things for presents? How often do we give what's convenient for us to give rather than what they actually need? In our busy material world, we often default to buying gifts as expressions of love. But the most meaningful gifts usually can't be purchased. They're gifts of time, attention, understanding, and genuine connection. A child doesn't need another toy. They need their parent to sit on the floor and play with them. An elderly parent doesn't need another gadget. They need their adult child to call and really listen. A friend going through difficulty doesn't need advice. They need someone to witness their struggle with compassion. The mother in the story thought she was being generous by buying expensive things, but her daughter was wealthy in possessions and poor in connection. True generosity would have been recognizing this and giving from that understanding. This doesn't mean material gifts are wrong. It means we need wisdom to see what's really needed. Sometimes a person needs practical help, food, shelter, money. Sometimes they need emotional support, listening, comfort, encouragement. Sometimes they need spiritual nourishment, hope, meaning, purpose. The Buddha's teaching challenges us to move beyond automatic giving patterns. Instead of giving what makes us feel good about ourselves, we can learn to give what actually serves others. This requires something precious, our attention. We have to pay attention and notice what people really need. What people really need. We have to be present enough to see past the surface to the deeper hungers of the human heart. The Zen tradition speaks of dana paramita, the perfection of giving. This isn't about perfect gifts, but about giving that flows from wisdom and compassion, rather than guilt, obligation, or habit. When we give this way, something beautiful happens. The act of giving transforms us. We discover that generosity isn't about depleting ourselves to help others. It's about connecting with others in ways that nourish everyone involved. The hour the mother spent playing with her daughter didn't cost her anything except time, but it gave both of them something priceless. Genuine connection, joy, and love freely shared. True generosity often costs us less money and more of ourselves. It asks us to give our presence instead of just our presence, our attention instead of just our possessions, our hearts instead of just our wallets. This can feel more vulnerable than buying gifts. When we give our time and attention, we're giving ourselves. There's no price tag to hide behind, no impressive packaging to impress with. But this vulnerability is exactly what makes such giving so powerful. When we offer ourselves, our time, our listening, our presence, we're saying, "You matter enough for me to share the most precious thing I have, my life itself." The Buddha taught that if we truly understood the power of generous giving, we wouldn't let a single day pass without sharing something meaningful with another person. Tonight, as you think about the people you love, consider what they really need from you. Is there someone who needs your time more than your money? Your attention more than your advice? Your presence more than your presence? What if the most generous thing you could do tomorrow isn't buying something, but simply showing up fully for someone who matters to you? The cardboard box became magical, not because it was expensive, but because it was shared with love and attention. The same transformation is available in every interaction when we choose to give what's truly needed. As the Buddha said, the greatest gift is to give people your enlightened presence. Sometimes the most profound generosity is simply being fully present with another human being. That presence costs nothing, but it's worth everything to the person who receives it.